RuneScape, like any video game, has had quite a fair share of glitches in its past, but seeing as how some of the code used in-game now was written over a decade ago, there's bound to be at least a few more than usual. There's a reason even staff members refer to the game as spaghetti code. Today's video discusses a glitch that caused a once rare item to lose 75% of its value in really about a week, bringing in millions of gold to the game, and Jagex didn't say a word about it. Before we dive into that, here's a quick word from today's sponsor.
I may have just spent the last 8 hours wood cutting, but at least I have you guys.
Everybody is too busy playing today's sponsor, Black Desert Online. If you've never heard of Black Desert Online before, let's talk about what it has to offer. It's an open world MMORPG with maybe some of the best graphics I think I've ever seen. Maybe you've played in the past but haven't gotten a chance to see their remastered update. That made them even better than they already were. Best of all though, even with all that, there's still no annoying loading screens. If you're into really customizing your character, then BDO has you covered. They actually suggested I show you this recreation of Michael Jackson. As for actual gameplay, you'll never really run out of things to do with their rich skilling, crafting, and economy systems. But if combat is more your style, their skill-based action combat will absolutely blow you away. Not to mention, the game is frequently updated with both large-scale expansions and smaller content updates to keep you busy. Now, if you're still not sold, they're offering you viewers a free 7-day trial. All you have to do is click the link below. Plus, if you end up liking it, there's no subscription fee. You pay for the game once and you play for free forever. For those of you who have maybe already played before and want to switch it up, they now also offer seasonal servers that are open for 3 months at a time, where characters get double the combat XP and 20% higher skilling XP. Each season has its own special events, and at the end of each season, players will receive a graduation cap and a high-ranked item as a graduation gift. So what are you waiting for? Download Black Desert Online today using the link in the description below. The Dragon Helm, since its release, has had a pretty rocky history. First of all, this was an item most people figured would actually never come out. And when it did, anyone who invested in it probably regretted it soon after. This thing slingshotted to being near worthless twice. As you can probably guess, it just so happens to be the duplicated item we'll be discussing today. Now, the way this helmet was originally obtained is from Mithril Dragons as an extremely rare drop. If we're talking exact numbers, 1 in 32,768. But Mithril Dragons also have a rare chance of dropping chewed bones. You can burn these bones, and when burned, you have a 1 in 250 chance of receiving a Dragon Helm. Someone else did the math, and combining these two numbers is around 1 in 8,192. So, despite not being the best in slot helmet, it was really cool looking and extremely rare, so it was kind of a big flex to have. To be honest, I kinda wish it was best in slot in old school or fit into some niche so I had a reason to own one. Because in my personal opinion, I think it looks a lot better than the SERP and face guard. Anyway, a few months after it comes out, Jagex removes the wilderness and free trade to try and counter real-world trading. As a part of this, PvP worlds are implemented. On them, they implement a feature where you can get specific drops from players you kill depending on the wealth they risked. One of these ended up being the Dragon Helm. So as you expected, it slowly dipped down from 50 mil to 10 mil over the course of a few months before being removed from the drop table. It recovered in price for the most part until 2013, so it's a Friday a month or two after the release of the Evolution of Combat update. Most of Jagex's employees are out of the office for the weekend. A group of 3 players end up figuring out how to duplicate a Dragon Helm using a method that was actually never made public. Even to this day, we still don't know how it was done. The RuneScape team gets back on Monday, and as they're checking through the console to see what happened, there's just an absolutely massive block of errors about the Dragon Helm. Now, as ex-JMods Reach and Shawnee have both confirmed, errors aren't really uncommon when it comes to RuneScape. They can happen for just about anything, even something as simple as something being mislabeled or a title being incorrect. However, when the Dragon Helm is causing that many issues over a weekend when previously it was fine with no updates made to it, it's pretty obvious something's wrong. So Mod Reach goes into the logs, discovers what's going on, who's doing it, and bans all 3 of the players involved. He manages to remove most of the gold from the game because the players were actually very slow at selling it, but the damage to the helmet itself is already done. The price drops from 35 mil to 3 mil over the course of about a week. Now, publicly, nobody has any clue what's going on. At the time, everyone assumed that merch clans were hoarding them and dumped them all at once. In the end, the community came up with their own conclusion. It was because of the way that the Evolution of Combat update worked, and all the combat bots were using mithril dragons to train on. When Jagex patched the training method, all the bots burned their chewed bones, causing a lot of full helms to enter the game. In reality, this never actually happened, and the Jagex mods involved in fixing it basically went, yeah, that's right. In reality, essentially millions, maybe billions of gold had been duplicated over the weekend.
And the community was like, what happened? Is a merch clan dumped all these items? What merch clan was doing all this? And we're like, yeah, it was a merch clan. Yeah. That solves that one.
ModReach says that this is just one of a handful of times that Jagex has covered something like this up. This one makes a lot of sense though, because it was very soon after the Money Pouch dupe, which was already bad enough press for Jagex. However, I'm curious to know maybe one day what more of these might be. So I reached out to Jagex for comment, and there's systems in place now to prevent this from happening these days. This glitch happened about 7 years ago, and they've obviously learned a lot since then. Rather than the logs being checked every once in a while, and not at all over the weekend, there's now a 24/7 monitoring of game issues, which includes the errors I mentioned earlier. They can now hot and cold fix any issues that pop up, and most importantly, weekend rule breakers no longer get punished on Monday morning. There's someone there to ban them long before that. Another thing to note is this cover-up involved less than a handful of JMods, most if not all of which don't work at Jagex anymore, and even some of the people working there at the time had no clue this even happened. Another quote from Reach is, "This isn't just something that's happened at Jagex either. It's a really common occurrence in the games industry in general." It seems to work in Jagex's favor this time though, because other than Reach talking about it in an interview once, I couldn't find it anywhere else on the internet.
Where it's not in your best interest to let the truth come out, so you cover it up with something else because that's easier. Jagex have obviously done this many times. I can think of many instances, and there are many other studios who've done this. Many studios have done this. This is not a new thing. You know, if the community want to claim that this is a merch clan, then let them think it's a merch clan.
Even on the RuneScape's wiki trivia page on the Dragon Full Helm, it lists the reasons for the 2013 crash as mithril dragon bots. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments or my clan chat, and I will see you in the next one.